If you're all about staying cozy while looking stylish, then you're in the right place. Today I'll be showing you how to make this fun and stylish crochet granny squares and turning them into a kimono duster cardigan. Hey friends, welcome back. I'm Shaz and today I have something exciting in store for you. This crochet cover, which can also be called a kimono or a crochet duster or a long cardigan, call it however you like, but this will be your next favorite crochet edition, I promise. And if you're new here, don't forget to click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you'll never miss an update. And for all my returning friends, can you show me some thumbs up and leave your thoughts in the comments below? I would love to hear from you. Okay, now for the materials. I'm using Hobby 8-ply rainbow yarn in the color beige and nude. I'm also using a 4.5mm crochet hook, and you'll need some stitch markers for this project. As usual, we'll need a tape measure, a pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle. For this tutorial, I am making a size medium, but this pattern also comes in various sizes up to 4XL, and you can find the pattern link to all the other sizes in the description box below. Now, let's make some squares. To start off, we'll be making a magic ring. Just wrap the yarn from the front to the back of 3 fingers and around once more, crossing the previous loop. Then you'll insert your hook through the loop and draw up a loop. Hold on to the bottom of the loop and release the magic ring from your fingers. Now you'll chain 1 to secure. This does not count as a stitch. You can release the tail from the loop and chain 2 as your first double crochet stitch. From here, we'll be working a total of 12 double crochet stitches. So go ahead and work your second double crochet through the loop and another 10 more. Once you've completed 12 double crochet stitches, the first chain is considered as a stitch. You'll take the tail and pull it tight to close up the ring. Find the third chain from that first stitch and work a slip stitch. This will be the first round. To start the second round, we'll chain 2 as your first double crochet stitch and we'll chain once more as the chain space. Next, you'll work a double crochet into the next stitch and chain 1. You'll repeat this double crochet stitch, chain 1 all the way in the round. Once you've worked your way in the round, the last stitch should be where the slip stitch was made, and you should have a total of 12 double crochet stitches. You'll chain 1. Now you'll find the third chain on that first stitch and work a slip stitch to close. And this is how the second round should look like. For the next round, we'll be working a front post bobble stitch. To do this, you will yarn over, slide your hook behind that first post and draw up a loop. You'll do that again. You'll yarn over, insert your hook behind that post and draw up a loop. You'll do this one more time until you have 7 loops on your hook. Now you'll yarn over and pull through all 6 loops You should have 2 loops left on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all loops. So this will be the front post bubble stitch, which we'll be working a lot throughout this pattern. Now through the chain space, go ahead and work 2 double crochet stitches. And we'll repeat that bubble stitch one more time. Yarn over, insert your hook behind the next post, drop a loop. You'll do this 2 more times. You'll yarn over, pull through all 6 loops, leaving 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all loops. You'll work 2 double crochet stitches into the chain space, and you'll repeat this pattern all the way in the round. Once you've reached that last chain space and work 2 double crochet stitches, we'll slip stitch into the top first stitch to close up the round. And this will be your 3rd round. Now for the next stitch, you'll chain 2. This is considered your first double crochet stitch. Now you'll chain 3, and this will be your chain space. Next, we'll work another double crochet stitch into that next stitch. And this will be our first corner stitch. Now we'll work another set of double crochet stitches for a total of 9 double crochet stitches. And once you have 9 double crochet stitches, we'll work on the other corner by working 3 chains and a double crochet into the next stitch. Now you'll repeat this 9 double crochet stitches and a corner stitch 3 more times, and I'll meet you back here once we're done. Once you've completed all 4 corners, on our last stitch, you'll want to work your last double crochet into that last slip stitch that you did on the previous row. The first chain that we did here is considered your 9th double crochet stitch. Always make sure to count the number of stitches before closing up the round. Now you'll find that 3rd chain on that first stitch and work your slip stitch. And this is how your 4th round should look like. I think this is a really pretty pattern as it is, which can be used for other projects as well. Now for the next round, we'll be working another front post bubble stitch into this first post here. So go ahead and yarn over, insert your hook behind the post, and you'll work your first bubble stitch. Next, we'll work 2 double crochet stitches. We'll chain 3. We'll work another set of 2 double crochet stitches. And another front post bubble stitch into that next post. This is our corner stitch pattern, which we'll be using and repeating at every corner. Next, we'll chain 1. We'll skip the next stitch and work a double crochet into that third stitch. We'll chain 1. We'll work a front post bubble stitch into that 5th post. This is the 5th stitch, but this will be the 5th post. So go ahead and work that front post bubble stitch. We'll chain 1, skip 1, and work a double crochet stitch. You'll chain once more and work another front post bubble stitch into that last post. We will now be repeating the corner stitch by working the 2 double crochet stitches with chains, followed by the corner bubble stitch, and repeat the same pattern as we did on the previous side. So just like before, we're working on the corner stitch, so we'll work 2 double crochets, 3 chains, and another 2 double crochet stitches into the chain space. You'll work a front post bubble stitch into that first post. Chain 1, skip 1. You'll work a double crochet stitch into that third stitch. Chain 1, skip 1. You'll work a front post bubble stitch into that 5th post. Chain 1, skip 1. You'll work a double crochet stitch into that 7th stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, and work a front post bubble stitch into that last post. You'll repeat this pattern on every corner, and I'll meet you back here once you're done. On your last corner, while working your last double crochet stitch, you'll chain 1 and work a slip stitch into the top of that first bubble stitch on that row. And this completes your 5th round. Now for the next round, you'll work 1 slip stitch because we're trying to get into that last double crochet stitch and work our corner stitch. So just like we did on the previous row, we'll work a front post bubble stitch into that last double crochet stitch. We'll work 2 double crochet stitches. You'll chain 3. You'll work your 2 double crochet stitches into the same chain space, and you'll work a front post bubble stitch through the next double crochet post. Next, we'll work a slip stitch into that first double crochet stitch. And we'll chain 5. Next, we'll be working a triangle pattern where we'll be increasing the height of the stitch. First, we'll work a single crochet stitch into the second chain from our hook. we'll work a half double crochet stitch into the next chain, followed by a double crochet into that third chain, and a treble crochet stitch into that last chain. This will give us a nice and steady increase in height, which will make it look like a triangle. Now we'll skip the next 2 stitches, including the chain, and work a slip stitch. We'll be repeating this triangle pattern 3 more times. So go ahead and chain 5. You'll work a single crochet into that second chain from your hook, a half double crochet stitch followed by a double crochet stitch and a treble crochet stitch. Skip 2 stitches and work a slip stitch. It might be a bit tricky if that next stitch is a chain. So here we've just completed 2 triangles and we have 2 more triangles to go. So go ahead and work that triangle stitches and I'll meet you back here at the next corner. Once you've completed 4 triangle stitches, you'll skip 2 stitches and work a slip stitch into that third stitch. And this is how the first side should look like. Now let's work the corner stitch one more time. We'll work a front post bobble stitch into the inner corner double crochet stitch. You'll work 2 double crochet stitches, chain 3. You'll work another set of 2 double crochet stitches, and another front post bobble stitch. This is one side completed. Now the next step, we'll slip stitch into that first stitch, and from here we'll chain 5 and work our triangle pattern, and we'll do this at every corner, and I'll meet you back here once you're done. Once you've completed your last triangle in the round, you'll work a slip stitch and chain 1 to secure. You'll bind off and you've just completed one whole square. You'll notice that the triangles are curled inward slightly, and that's okay because we will be blocking them. For now, we'll need to make another 25 more squares if you're using one color, or if you're following my color pattern, that would be 15 beige colored squares and 11 nude colored squares. There are a few ways you can block your crochet project, but for demonstration purposes, you can place them flat on a blocking mat like this and use some sewing pins to stretch them outwards. Once you have them nice and flat, you can then use a steamer to relax the fiber, or you can also use a spray bottle and mist each square lightly. One of my favorite ways to block my project is to iron them straight on an ironing board, as this works just as well. Now let me show you how it'll look before and after you block them. As you can see, there is a big difference, and this will also help with joining them later. Now once you have completed all your squares, we'll now be assembling them together. You want to place 2 squares on top of each other, right side facing outwards. You'll draw up a loop through that corner chain space, chain 1 to secure. My method in joining 2 squares together is by working 3 chains, but remember, I'm making a size medium and different sizes will vary. So now I'll pick up the second square from the bottom, and I'll insert my hook through that corner chain space and work a single crochet. I'll continue to chain 3, and I'll pick up that first triangle on the first square. I'll insert my hook into that first single crochet stitch, making sure you go through both loops, and you'll work a single crochet. I'll continue to chain 3 and single crochet into the top of each triangle, working a zigzag, alternating between the front and the back square all the way across. Once you've completed all 4 triangles and you've reached the second corner stitch, you'll work your last chain and finish off a single crochet on the back corner square. Chain 1 to secure and bind off. And this is how the join should look like. You will continue to do this with each square, working on 3 individual squares per row. Now let's attach the third square. So make sure your squares are right side facing out. You'll insert your hook through the corner chain space. You'll take your yarn, draw up a loop, and chain 1 to secure. You'll chain 3. You'll work a single crochet into the back corner stitch. You'll continue to chain 3 and single crochet at the top of the next triangle and repeat this pattern all the way across. And here is a diagram of how to join each row. You will need to make 5 rows of 3 joined squares for the back panel and 5 individual squares for the front panel in 2 sets. For the sleeves, you will need 2 rows of 3 joined squares made in 2 sets. Once you've completed all your 3 individual square joints, we will now join them row by row. Go ahead and place one row on top of the other, making sure the right side is facing outwards. You'll insert your hook through that corner chain space. You'll draw up a loop and chain 1 to secure. This process is very similar to how we join each square. So we'll continue to chain 3 like we did before. We'll insert a hook through the back corner chain space and work a single crochet, and continue to chain 3 and work single crochet stitches on top each triangle of each square. We'll do this all the way across, and I'll meet you back here once you're at the next corner. You're at the second corner of the first square. You'll continue to chain 3. You'll find the back corner stitch and you'll work your single crochet through that chain space. You'll just continue working 3 chains and single crochet into each corner and on top of each triangle stitch, working in a zigzag motion all the way across. And this is how each row should look like. You will continue to join 3 more rows for the back panel and do the same for the front panel based on this diagram. And you'll continue to join the last 3 squares of the front panel to the back, leaving 2 rows open for the sleeves. So here are all my squares all joined up and connected, leaving space here for the sleeves. This is a pretty big project, and I'll try to show you how it looks like at the bottom row. Oh, by the way, did I forget to mention that there are millions of ends to weave in? I know, but it's so worth it in the end. Now let me show you the sleeves. Here I have 3 squares and 2 rows all joined up. I folded them in half and joined at the bottom. And when you assemble them all together, this is how it should look like. But before attaching the sleeves, I would like to work on the bottom edging first. So go ahead and turn your work downside up, and while you're facing the wrong side, you'll insert your hook through that corner chain space and chain 1 to secure. Next, we want to match the height of the triangles, so we'll go ahead and chain 3. Make sure it's about the same height. And now I'll chain 5 as a chain space. Now into the top of the triangle, you'll work a single crochet. And you'll continue to chain 5. Single crochet into the next triangle and repeat these steps until the end of the first square. I'll meet you back here once you're there. Once you've worked your way through the last triangle, we'll be working a treble crochet into the next corner stitch. So go ahead and yarn over 2 times and work that treble stitch. Now we're at the first joint. I'll chain 3 to match the bottom joint chain, and I'll work another treble crochet stitch into the next square's corner. It should look something like this. Now we'll continue to chain 5 and single crochet each triangle all the way across, and we'll work the same joint stitch between each square. You repeat this pattern all the way across, and I'll meet you back here at the end of this row. So I've just completed this row and I worked my last treble crochet stitch into that corner stitch. I chained 1 and turned my work. Now for the second row, I'll be working double crochet stitches. Go ahead and work your double crochet stitch into each chain and each stitch all the way across. Once you've completed all your double crochet stitches, go ahead and bind off. Now let's work on the front panel edging. We'll be working the same pattern as we did with the bottom edging by working chains and treble crochet stitches into each triangle all the way across. And once we've reached the top shoulder portion, we're going to attach the 2 squares at the shoulders and continue working out the same pattern throughout the neckline. Now I'll turn my work to the side, facing the wrong side up. I'll insert my hook through that corner double crochet stitch, and now I'm using my nude color yarn. I'll drop a loop and chain 3. This will be my treble crochet stitch, and I'll chain 5 to match the height. Next, I'll work a treble crochet into that corner stitch. The corner stitch that you just made should bend slightly like this. And I'll continue to chain 5 and single crochet into the next triangle. You'll continue with the same pattern that we did on the bottom edging all the way across, and I'll meet you once you've reached the top of the shoulder. Once you've worked your way all the way up to that last corner, go ahead and work a treble crochet stitch. We'll do that one more time. We'll chain 3 and we'll work 2 more treble crochets into the same chain space. From here, we'll continue with the same pattern of chain 5, single crochet, and I'll meet you back here at the end of this square. I've just worked my treble crochet and chain 3 into that last square. Now I'll pick up the back panel first square and work another treble crochet stitch into that corner stitch. Make sure your stitches are tight. Now we'll continue to chain 5 and single crochet each triangle and work the same pattern all the way across the back panel, and we'll do the same thing to join the second front panel. On your last stitch, you'll work your treble crochet stitch, chain 1, turn your work, and work double crochet stitches into every chain and stitch all the way across, just like how we did with the bottom edging. Once you've reached the top of the shoulders, at the corner stitch, go ahead and work 5 double crochet stitches into that chain space. And then from here, you'll continue on with your double crochet stitch into every stitch. Once you've completed all the edging, go ahead and fold the front panel forward and place stitch markers along the top of the shoulders while matching the front and back squares. This will make it easier for us when seaming them together. Now you'll take your tapestry needle and insert your hook through the inner loop of the first stitch on both sides. Next, you'll insert the needle through the second inner loop from the front and diagonally through the first inner loop on the back. Now we'll do that again. From the back, you'll insert your hook through the inner loops of the second stitch through both sides. And then you'll work a diagonal stitch by working through the inner loop on the third stitch through the back into the inner loop on the second stitch. So basically you'll be working a straight stitch down from the back to the front and a diagonal stitch from the front to the back. This is called a mattress stitch, but you can also use any stitch that you prefer. You'll continue with this stitch all the way across until you've reached the end of this first square. Once you've reached the end of the square, go ahead and secure it by working straight stitches into both loops, working around 2 stitches twice. And once you're done, weave in the ends and bind off. You should have a smooth join at the shoulders like this. Now you'll do the exact same thing on the other side. Now let's work on the sleeves. Place your sleeve along the side of your body panel and place a stitch marker to where it meets at the bottom. Now find the last chain where you made your last join and continue working from there. Go ahead and drop a loop and work the same number of chains and single crochet into the opposite square. Repeat this pattern on each side until you reach the stitch marker. You remove the stitch marker and work a single crochet into the triangle and chain 3. Now we will be working around the sleeve and join in the round. Now depending where your last stitch was, mine is at the back, which means I'll be working from the back of the sleeve to the front. Using the same pattern that we did, you'll continue to single crochet and work your chains into each triangle and corner square, and you'll do this all the way until the top of the shoulder, and I'll meet you back there. Here I'm placing a stitch marker to mark where my last stitch will be. Once you've reached the top of the shoulders, now on your next stitch, instead of working 3 chains, I'll be working a treble crochet stitch into the third 5 double crochet group stitch. So you'll find that third stitch in the middle and you'll work a treble crochet stitch. And then I'll chain 3 and I'll insert my hook into the next corner stitch at the back and work a single crochet. Make sure that both sides are symmetrical. From here, you just continue on with your chains and single crochet into each triangle and work your way down. And once you've reached the stitch marker, go ahead and close up that last stitch from the first joining stitch. Chain 1 to secure and bind off. And here is one side joint. You'll do the same thing on the other side, and I'll meet you back here once we're all done. We've just finished our Crochet Kimono Duster Cardigan. Now all you have left to do is weave in about 1,000,000 ends. Sorry. I know some of you might be asking, what's the best way to weave in ends when there are chains involved? Well, let me show you how real quick. Well, you need to make sure that your tail is long enough. You'll pick up your tapestry needle and you'll weave it through. Make sure that your tapestry needle has a wide eyelet and a blunt tip. Now you insert the yarn by folding them in half and pushing the tip through the eyelet. And what I like to do is I like to weave in my needle through any proper stitch, like a single crochet or a double crochet, and I'll weave them through twice. I like to go the same direction because I feel this is much more secure. Make sure you skip that last stitch when you're going back the same direction. I'll tug it slightly and then I'll snip off the end. Now to weave in around the magic circle, first I'll just wrap my yarn around the tapestry needle like so. I'll push in the loop through the eyelet. I'll just work my needle around the circle between the stitches. I'll probably go through about 6 stitches. And then I'll skip the next stitch and work through the same way I came from and pull my yarn through. I'll tug it a bit and then I'll snip off the excess yarn. And that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm really excited about this cardigan, and I can't wait to take it to the beach or wear it over something casual for a bit of style. I hope you've made it this far, and if you did, let me know how it went. And don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked this tutorial. And as always, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.